Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to talk about how to make a wormhole command in your Discord server. So I would suggest starting from my template that I actually have established on GitHub. I'll put it in the description below, but it's called discord/command node.js. This is going to be a full template to actually get your bot started. And I would suggest starting from that because it already has a lot of the boilerplate set up that I'm not going to do because you guys probably don't want to see it again. I also have a video that talks about this in more detail that I can link below too in case you do want to follow the template and understand it. So once we have this set up, we actually need to get a Discord token. So we need to create a bot and we need to add it to 2 servers so we can actually have a wormhole to test with. So in order to do this, we go to our discord.com/developer/applications and we click new application. We're going to call this Wormhole Bot. Sorry, we go to bot and we go to add bot. So once we have all this set up, we need to get 2 things. We need a token and client ID, and we also need to add it to our servers. So we're going to go to OAuth 2, we're going to go to URL generator, and we're going to go to bot. We're going to choose administrator. We're going to copy this up here and add it to 2 test servers that you have. Now that we have that added there, we need to actually get the token. So let's go to bot, reset the token. You have to do that every time if you have an auth. And then go inside of your bot here, and we're going to go create a .dev.env file at the top. We're going to say Discord token equals your token. Let's make sure we do all this right. And we have 2 other things. We need client ID and should create commands. I've talked about this in other videos. Should create commands is going to tell you whether you want to register the / command with Discord every time. I turned it off after a while because if you're not changing the command values, then you don't want to wait for it to be created. And then we're going to go back here and we're going to go to general, copy the application ID, and then paste that here. And now we should be able to open a new terminal and do npm I, which installs the dependencies. We should be able to npm start. Okay, you're going to see this here. You actually need to go back here. You need to turn these 3 privileged gateway intents on, all 3 of them. And then you should be able to restart your bot. So we should see these logs. And once this client is ready and has been initialized, we know that everything's working. So now we have a working bot. We have a few basic commands here. So we can go and test those just to make sure that everything is working like we expect. So let's go to our test server and let's do /ping. Make sure you find the right bot. This is Wormhole Bot. We're going to say ping. And as long as it hits us back with Pong, we know everything's working correctly. So now we can make our wormhole command. How does a wormhole command function? A wormhole is a way to actually send a message between servers for fun. It goes to a random server in a random channel. So how are we going to do that? So the first thing we need to do here is actually create a wormhole interaction. An interaction is just a / command like we've talked about before. We can put one of these to the side here. And then we can say module exports equals, and we need to actually import this / command builder up here. We can say data is new / command builder. Set the name to wormhole. We can set the description to creates a wormhole with a different server. And then we want to add one more thing. We want to add a string option. So the name of this is going to be message. The description is going to be the message to send. And this is in fact required. So we need to do set required true. Once we have that done, we need to actually go to the next line, put a comma, and we will say async execute interaction user. This is the way that this bot's set up to actually register commands. It'll do it automatically when you create a new command, assuming you have this property set on in your env file to create the commands. And so now we can see that it actually loaded the interaction wormhole.js. This does nothing right now. So how do we actually make this command function? So the first thing we need to do is find a random guild. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is actually get the random guild. So let's say const guild equals interaction.client.guilds.cache.random. Okay, so now what's the next thing we need from here? We actually need a random channel to send a message in. So we can do the same thing here. We can actually, I'm going to paste this in here. We can do guild.channels.cache.random. So now we have a random channel. So how do we actually make the wormhole work now? So we can actually take this message that we passed in. So we can say const message equals interaction.options.get, and we can say message.value. And we're going to get the message from here, the value of the message. And now we can actually send this inside of the channel. So we can say channel.send, we'll say content message. And the last thing we need to do here is interaction.reply. Your message has been sent through the wormhole. So now everything should work here. So let's try this. So if we test this, we can actually see /wormhole and test. Okay, now one thing we need to change when getting the channels, we actually need to make sure that we filter out the text channels. So you can see here in this line, I've actually changed it to guild.channels.cache.filter x to x.type. So this is the channel type, which comes from this Discord.js module. .guild text .random one, and then the first thing in the array. And so now when we run this command, we should actually see this work. So if you drag this over here, we should be able to say /wormhole test. And you can see here, it actually created a wormhole and it did work. So what's actually makes this content a little more, obvious that it's from a wormhole, because you don't want some random, message being sent your server. So we can say a message from a wormhole appeared. And then now we should be able to run this again and we should see a message from the wormhole appeared. Your message has been sent to the wormhole, ready to go. It went from this to this other server and it said a message from the wormhole appeared test. So this is a really easy way to make a wormhole command. You could actually persist data, and maybe I'll talk about it in another video to make this a little more verbose and a little more robust. But this is a very simple wormhole command. I hope you guys liked the video. If you like the videos and the programming content in general, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys another day.